Alright, so I've actually got this whole project put back together. I wanted to verify it actually worked before I made a video showing everyone how to do it. But I've definitely read a bunch of controversy in forums and stuff on swapping around these O2J transmissions through the years. And maybe I read stuff wrong, but either way, I just wanted to go over this because we were able to put a 2001 O2J. It's a EGR engine code or transmission code specific transmission in this 2006 BRM, which had, I can't remember what the code was, but way newer, obviously, and different CV axles, different shifter, different slave cylinder, quite a bit of differences to put this thing in here. But I did get it to work, and I wanted to go ahead and just go over that with you guys. So to start with, we did go with a universal clutch, so like the lightweight flywheel, aftermarket eBay clutch. I don't know if that helped because I know there was some talk about the throwout bearing or something, differences in the how far the crank sticks out on the BRM, messing stuff up. But apparently if you can use a universal clutch, just like what you'd throw on an ALH, a cheapo, I believe even the VR6 or the G60 clutch upgrade would be the same thing with the weighted flywheel. But either way, this was just a cheapo that we threw in there, and that all bolted right in. There is a little less clearance if you are pushing on the clutch fork. I looked at it before, and there was probably 3/4 of an inch from the mounting point of the slave cylinder down there, and I only have about a little less than half an inch, almost a 1/4 inch of play to the slave cylinder on this. But we went ahead and put the older, the 2001 slave cylinder in, which also required using the hose, the hydraulic line for the 2001. So there were quite a few parts off of the 2001 we had to use to make this work. But anyway, with that slave cylinder, I was able to push it in, and you can push it clear into less than a 1/4 inch sticking out. So there's no force on the throwout bearing. So that all checks out. So we got that all bolted together, and then obviously we left the CV axles from the 06 because that has a bolt that goes into the hub instead of the big nut on the older one. So those axles bolt right to the 2001 transmission. There was no issues there. Probably one of the other biggest issues we had was, I think we could have actually swapped out the clutch fork for the other one, but or for the 2006, but this one had a big I don't know what you call it, like a dampener to help with shifting, I think. And so I went ahead and had to cut that off because it was coming clear up and hitting the battery box. So we lost our dampener there on the clutch fork. But in driving it, I don't know, maybe if you're crazy shifting or something, it affects it. But as far as just normal driving, I don't see any differences in how it performs without that dampener weight on the top of it. So that worked out well. And then one of the other things that was a big need was the bracket here that holds the two shift cables. We did not change the shift cables. These are out of the 2006. But and they had the same clips here. I have seen some differences in clips and like a snap-on type shifter clip thing here, but these have the little metal ones that pop off and these just slide on. Either way, those were fine, but this bracket is way different on the 2006 transmission. So we had to use the 2001 bracket and put these cables into it. But after we did that, they went in and they work fine. So that was good. Oh, and on the there's a different type of connector on the hydraulic line going into the master cylinder. I had to take the clip piece off of there and swap those out. I don't know what the deal with that was, but anyway, other than that, the starter's the same. Everything there bolted back together, and if you have at least the main portion of the motor mount there, the bolts I had were too long, but that's the bracket here. This is original to the 01, but the motor mount is the 06 motor mount, and they bolt together fine. So there were no issues with that. And I'm trying to think, that's really about it. Obviously it's got a vehicle speed sensor on this older one that we don't need, because this gets vehicle speed off of the ABS wheel sensors. But anyway, and I guess maybe to go back and explain this, through a course of events, loaning the car out, somebody was able to dump the clutch enough to throw the pinion, or part of the pinion. I guess it's pretty common, they make a pinion brace to put inside of these things, but they shoved the pinion out into the bell housing, dumped all the fluid out, and pretty well wrecked the transmission. I may have to go in and see if I can TIG weld it back together, but I guess there's a chance that something went through the ring gear as well and forced the pinion out. So it's kind of up in the air there, but they also smoked the clutch at the same time, so there's a good chance it somehow got extremely abused. So anyway, just wanted to go over this and let you guys know, if you do have one of these newer cars and you're not finding these 06 transmissions, are pretty hard to find. The gear ratios match up perfect. We're doing the same. I think with these oversized tires, we run about 2,800 RPM at 80, 82 mile an hour. And there was no change at all to this 01 transmission. So that turned out really good. And we got the thing back on the road. So that was a plus, because you can't be getting 50 miles a gallon. So got to keep these things running when we can. So anyway, yeah, this thing's been sitting here a while. As you can see, the plates were from 2002, but she is back up and running, and we're gonna get her on the road. So hopefully that helps somebody else out. Thanks for watching.